Ladies and gentlemen, getting extremely rich in crypto ain't that hard, especially if you know exactly what to focus on. Today, let me just share a couple of words of wisdom with you, because even though I'm not a financial advisor, I personally think that these sectors are gonna pop off. And if you really put your best foot forward, do a lot of research, and are willing to put in the effort and time, I think you'll greatly succeed if, again, you're looking into these industries. As I've said 1,000 times on the channel before, every single season, there's a different category of cryptos that does well. Where right now, AI crypto coins have been absolutely popping off. I will admit, and I will be open and honest with you in saying, they are so incredibly hot that I find them a less amazing opportunity than some other cryptos. So what I mean is, AI over the entirety of the bull market will do amazing. I really don't doubt that at all. I've said it before, I think as long as NVIDIA keeps doing well, AI cryptos will also keep doing well. But if I'm being fully open and honest with you, there's a couple of different sectors I'm mostly putting my focus on right now, because you're not, at least I'm not, looking for coins that will double over the next few weeks or months. I'm mostly looking for coins that can do a 100x, turn $10,000 into $1 million time and time again. And if I'm being honest with you, I think that CoinGecko has got it pretty right with their hot categories of gaming, GameFi, where right now, in the previous run, this was by far the hottest thing. This season, it's by far been AI. I think that will have to turn around at some point. And very recently here, it's been a lot of Solana and the Solana ecosystem. I'm extremely bullish on Solana, but there's only one tiny thing that's kind of holding me up, making me a little bit uncertain of some things, which has to do with the SEC trying to go after Ethereum. If you do not know, the SEC said they might go after Ethereum, calling it a security, and they might actually reject the Ethereum spot ETFs over in May. And if they do that, that might be a slight pushback in the plan, but still, I believe this is the case. And what I believe that is to be is the Ethereum ecosystem. There's not really a interesting category here to press for that, but the long story short is, if there was a button, I'd press Ethereum ecosystem, and then mostly coins that are new. So not some of the older ones, not the 2017, 2021 crazy pump coins. I'd personally go for coins that are slightly newer, not yet listed on your major exchanges like Binance, or perhaps, for example, Coinbase Ventures type of coins that have really not hit the massive markets yet, but that still have got potential to absolutely pop off. Again, in the recent past year, when I came to my AI cryptos, I explained why I kind of always take a look at Coinbase's portfolio, because those coins that they buy into have an extremely high probability of getting listed onto other major exchanges or on their own from that perspective. But also, you just know they're not a straight up scam. They're not a stupid proposal 98% of the time. Some will be and some will not do good, but most of the time they will at least give some performance. Again, some of them I have actually failed to invest into because it was too slow or whatever, but 9 out of 10 times it's good. It's very good. Now, when it comes to AI, the reason I will still say, hey, don't fade it, it's because it kind of depends on how far you draw the line of AI. If we're talking GPU related cryptos, I think they could still do well. If we're talking deep in, I think they will still do extremely well. So I actually specifically think deep in is the best industry for this whole cycle. And a lot of AI coins have some sort of overflow in it or with it, or however you want to say that. And these numbers right now going down is mostly just because Bitcoin is right now facing a slight correction. I've said it before what I think will happen to that price, but this video is mostly just meant for people to get snapped back to reality a little bit, and for them to realize that the crypto run ain't over, that whatever was hot a month ago isn't necessarily hot over the next few months, and that the paradigms are shifting, and that I'm shifting more and more towards new things on the Bitcoin ecosystem, so Merlin chain, runes, everything Bitcoin layer 2-ish, because of the Ethereum ETFs, and because of all that hype going towards Solana right now. I think a lot of it will come back to Ethereum, boosting the Ethereum ecosystem. I think deep in is extremely hot, but most specifically, that gaming has missed a lot of its rush that is still yet to come back in the near future. Having said that, sometimes people take my videos the wrong way, and they think that because I'm talking about a certain sector right now, that other sectors can do well. But here's a good example of one of the coins we bought a while back before it even launched, and you can see just how well it did ever since the launch came around. I don't know exactly what the price was before, right now at 31 cents, having an amazing performance for your AI, which reads AI protocol optimized e-commerce integrated into Shopify's 700 million users, built on Bitcoin and Solana. And again, from my story, you might think, that's not really my top focus or anything, but you can see just how amazing it has done. Well, you can't partially see it, but if you were to look at, for example, the price that it had before launch on places like DAOmaker, I think this one did extremely well. And again, taking it back, AI will take over. It's just that I'm not putting my 100% emphasis on it anymore. I am starting to pivot a little bit, especially as the Bitcoin halving and the Ethereum ETFs are coming closer. And since AI, everybody seems to think AI is the thing. We were calling it out months before, but at some point, like I said, you're not early to the party anymore. So I'm still bullish on it, but I'm also trying to pivot away a little bit. Let me sit you down and say real quickly, though, that once more, I've said it 1,000 times, but I'll say it again. I'm not against AI coins at all. Please don't catch this video the wrong way. I'm just specifically focusing in the sector on DePIN because AI is so broad. Anyway, these guys, I think, because I thought I invested into Rainmaker like years ago, but I think they might have had games before and are now going for a new AI. Perhaps I'm wrong on that, guys. It could definitely be so, but I've been hearing a lot of nice buzz and a lot of crazy hype about this, the coin AI. So I will tell you guys, keep it on your visor, as a lot of massive guys are on board and a lot of my investor friends also. And like I sometimes say, if you can get free airdrops, try to get them. Apparently, as it says right here, hurry, the coin airdrop is live and waiting for you. Download their app for free, join the movement, make it. Obviously, I trust these guys quite a bit because they've been around for many, many years, but I'll always say it like this: never connect your main wallet if that's a question. Always just make a new wallet for it. And sometimes whatever you get is not worth anything, but sometimes it is worth a ton for very little effort. It just depends. I mean, if you guys followed my EtherFi guide with regards to the airdrop, if you deposit, I think, let's say $100 or so, I think you would have still gotten yourself $1,000, let's say $830 or so airdrop. For, basically free. All you needed was to invest $100 and keep it in for at least, I think, a week or so. Maybe it was $300. You guys get the idea if it was a week. If it was $100, perhaps 3 weeks. Point being, small airdrop. The small things matter too. And if you're wondering how did I come up with that, or why specifically Rainmaker, I just always go for whenever things come on the launch pads that I most trust in. 9 out of 10 times things launching on there do really well. Sometimes they fail, but most of the time they don't. So when I saw that Tencent made an announcement about it, I thought, let me also warn you guys that these things usually are bangers, and it's definitely worth keeping in your visor. This one specifically has around on the 2nd of April, so in about a week from now. So you've got a little bit of time to prepare. And some people, like with every single one of these opportunities I share, will not be able to participate, but hey, some people will, and that's good enough for me. I've also got a video coming up explaining more about how exactly I get into early sales and what exactly are the steps. But I'll probably upload that in about 1 or 2 days from now. Having said that, now I saw on the sidelines just here in this list, another project I actually invested into that I think is going to go absolutely wild. It's actually launching within 24 hours right now, and it's Venom. I think this might be one of the bigger launches again of the year. Project I've known for multiple years that kind of always said they were never going to launch a token, which most projects will eventually launch a token. Like all those major ones that we're farming airdrops for, they will all go for a token, even if they say they don't. That's to kind of keep farmers at bay. This one is launching on OKX in, as I said, tomorrow. It had a couple of ways to get yourself some free tokens, and I think I've talked about this on Twitter a few days ago already, but I'm just saying it again for in case you did not catch that if you invested early or you're already caught up to speed from the last time I talked about it, then pay attention tomorrow because it is launching. But this is not one of those projects that I'm expecting a 1000x on day one for. It's where I just expect the project to do well over time, and that it, in my opinion, can almost not fail, similarly to how some of our other projects with very high valuations have done, where again, it's not 1000x on day one, not 1000x over the next few weeks, but just good performance all around, good performance throughout time. And if you've been in Dubai or Abu Dhabi, you would have for sure seen these guys around because they're pretty famous. I guess a little low-key, but pretty famous. Anyway, it's just launched tomorrow. Just wanted to quickly make that clear to everybody. And it's a lot bigger than you guys might realize. But yeah, it all works on the Venom wallet. It's a whole ecosystem. And it's kind of funny how there are so many different crypto ecosystems in the midst as well that many people just don't know about. It's kind of crazy. But now, for all the people that have been watching for, the duration of the video, I'll tell you my most bullish sector. This is the truth. If you're fully focusing on this right now, I don't think there's anything that can go wrong because I think it's really about to take over. And the reason I kind of waited until the end to say it here is because I don't want to tell this to really just anybody, only the people that seriously want the info that I've got to bring. One of the ones I bought recently, it's just an example though, is a 𝗕𝗓𝗋 because again, I'm looking into the future, or at least we're trying to, when it comes to everything real world asset based. You might ask yourself, Dusty, why do you say that? Do you guys remember this little video right here?
And we believe it's so important to be anticipating the next move. I would also say on the beginnings of a ETF Bitcoin, we believe ETFs are a technology no different than Bitcoin was a technology for asset storage. We believe the next step going forward will be the tokenization of financial assets. And that means every stock, every bond will have its own, basically, CUSIP. It'll be on one general ledger. Every investor, you and I, will have our own number, our own identification. We could rid ourselves of all issues around illicit activities about bonds and stocks and digital by having a tokenization. But the most importantly thing, we can customize strategies through tokenization that fits every individual. We would have instantaneous settlement. Think about all the costs of settling bonds and stocks. But if you had a tokenization, everything would be immediate because it's just a line item. And so we believe this is a technological transformation for financial assets. I believe if you want to talk about voting and voting choice and all the things, if we know every moment who is the owner of that stock and it's now time to vote, every individual who has ownership is identified and they can vote their own share.
That is still taking it very light. The way he's explaining it is mostly on the already financial side, but I think if you guys can look at it a little bit further, they're going to be tokenizing everything. That's why they put $100 million up for it right now for their tokenized asset fund as a step one. But that's basically the reason I'm looking into so many different real world asset projects. And the other one that we made crazy amounts of money on quite recently, I also told you guys about this before it actually blew up in a live stream. I think the live stream was probably somewhere around here, perhaps even slightly earlier, and I think it did a 8x or so since I made the video about it, so that was definitely pretty amazing, and it's still only at 7 million or so. I will be open and honest with you and say 𝗕𝗓𝗋 is significantly bigger, but I just liked some of their most recent and newest products. As you can see right here, they just announced introducing 𝗕𝗓𝗋 BDLP, RWA-based multiple yield farming auto protocol, working with a couple of other behemoths on that. And by no means am I trying to say, guys, oh, go fully into 𝗕𝗓𝗋, this is it. I'm trying to say, this is the narrative I'm watching for, I'm looking for every single day. And most people have not caught on yet. Yes, a lot of people say, oh, real world assets will be the next big thing, but they're not putting their money where their mouth is, and we are. Especially over the next few months. And honestly, I don't want to waste more of your time. I just wanted to quickly say that I'm really focusing on the RWA asset class, a lot on the Bitcoin ecosystem, but basically everything I'm focusing on I've already described very harshly before. AI, yes, it's still one of the areas I hold the majority of my crypto money into, but I'm going to start pivoting out a little bit more specifically into DeepIn and a lot more into GameFi as the bull run picks up. Right now, we're still in the phases where it's mostly just crypto people that are in it. But over the next few months, that's going to change. I think Solana and the ecosystem will do really well, but I still think Ethereum will do better. And it hasn't actually seen the crazy gains yet that we usually already see by this time in the market. Once more, I still think if you just close your eyes and go for a couple of random coins here, you will still also be fine. So do not think you really specifically should only be getting these things. There's a lot of other ways or crazy cool ways you can get crazy amounts of money. For example, if you just go for one coin, you stake a ton of it, you might actually get more rewards than by buying a ton of different coins, or by just going for a meme, you might make up for everything else. It's a crazy world that we live in, guys, especially this crypto space. It's so wild. Now that you know what I'm focusing on, explore the world of crypto, and that's